body shaming people? When did it become normal to body shame? Because the videos that are making the rounds on YouTube, but especially on TikTok, about people who are just busy living their lives with their skin on bones bodies is hilarious, it's alarming. But for me, more than anything, I would say it is, I think I would say hypocritical and ridiculous, or ridiculous, as we say, as the Igbos in Nigeria say. Welcome to Stories Learned, Stories Shared, and Lessons Learned. So, for a couple of weeks now, I think it's since the beginning of the year, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know in what order they come. Hollywood has been celebrating the Oscars, the SAG-AFTRA Awards, the Emmy Awards, and I think they've recently just had the Met Gala, all those awards. And content creators, influencers have all been coming online to literally body shame many actresses, I would say, because I've always seen pictures of women. But before then, let's go back a little bit to this culture of body shaming, because it is what it is. I don't care what they say or what excuse or reason they give to justify what is trending right now on social media. I learned the term body shaming and the movement, I think, over a decade ago when I moved to South Africa. And a friend had shared a post about this teenage girl who was obese and had stabbed her boyfriend with a fork when they went for lunch somewhere. So she stabbed him just because he called her fat, you know, which at the time I didn't really appreciate the culture abroad, or mostly I would say in the US and in the UK, or in the Western world, to put it in general, because I come from a generation where while we were growing, we were mostly nicknamed for your physical appearance. If you were fat, you were called Fatty Bum Bum, Biggie, or Tolly if you were tall, and if you were short, you were called Shorty. In fact, here in Latin America, there are many countries, even in Ecuador where I live, that culture still goes on, and I know so many people that go by the name Gorda. Gorda, gordito, gordo, cavo, for someone who is bald. They take it a step forward. In many cultures, we don't call you by your physical description out of malicious intent, if not for fondness. It's just a fun, cute term that people call you. Okay, and it was nothing to insult you. Even there was a term for skinny people when we were growing up. Some were called pole wire by referring to the electric poles, or you were called that, or some kind of fish that was not that meaty. And everything was just in good humor. And you would know if they threw that word at you due to malicious intent, as an insult, you would understand. But in many cultures, those things are normal, they are not offensive, and there is no intention or insult behind the word. In fact, up till today, here in Ecuador and some parts of Europe, talking about weight gain or weight loss is not a taboo. It is just part of the culture because people care and people just observe. So when I learned that online, I got to realize that that movement had come very, very strong in the United States and the United Kingdom. I don't know much about Australia. Hi, Jose Geraldo, how are you? Nice to see you today here. So those were the people who moved those things. And for me, it ties back to what I said in my last life, that we tend to imitate so many of the white man's culture, because when you look at us as a race, we are not naturally thin, and when you look at the lifestyle today, due to sedentary lifestyle, people are generally on the big side, or what is considered big. So for us to have also adopted that in Nigeria, certain parts of West Africa, that you don't talk about people, I just felt we were not honest to ourselves, but we were just swallowing everything we saw. No thanks to Hollywood, which is actually funny because now it is the same Hollywood that has promoted the image of um, of fat being negative, the connotation that being fat is negative, that are being attacked today for being skinny. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, with time, by the last decade, it had been firmly established that you don't talk about people's weight. You don't talk about how thin they are. You don't talk about how fat they are. You just see them and say, oh, you look nice. Even if the dress doesn't look nice on them, even though you know that they don't look healthy in your opinion, just shush it, zip it, swallow it. And the world moved on. So that was how the term body shaming was born. So when you spoke about people's bodies, you were body shaming them, which to me, I think and I know that the problem has to be with you. If someone says you are fat and you feel offended, or someone says you are skinny and you feel offended, because what do those words mean to you? What does it mean when they say fat? Does it mean unattractive to you? Or does it mean poor to you? I heard in certain parts of the United States, it symbolizes a socioeconomic slur, so to say, that you were trying to say they didn't eat healthy and that was why they were overweight. So it was offensive because you were implying that they came from a poor socioeconomic standing, which began to make sense to me actually. That okay, people, they felt it as an insult. I've never gone to the States, I don't live there, but you have friends who are there, who are visited, and I said, okay, that makes sense. And I didn't know how personally I was affected or brainwashed, I would say, until one time a friend who had not seen me over so many years saw me online, and the first thing he says to me, like, "Ooh, look how fat you are." And I took offense. I really took offense, which, when I looked at it in retrospect, I felt that in our culture, he didn't say anything offensive. But because I had been exposed to the Western culture where it's an offense to talk about people's weight, I reacted that way, and I really felt bad to say, I don't want these things to influence who I am personally, because I mean, you gained the weight. It doesn't make you less beautiful or less attractive. For some people, it does, but the question is, personally, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you see, probably you've lost weight, or people who have lost weight, um, you don't see a lot of flesh. How do you think? How do you feel? Do you feel sick, or you feel you are not attractive? Or for those who are struggling to put on weight and then they hear such terms like, you've gained weight, it's like, oh, okay, am I not supposed to? But at the end of the day, it is personal. It is very personal. That is why I think it does not make sense, the term body shaming. And that's one of the reasons why I love watching Nollywood. They still talk about people's bodies, they make fun of one another on the set, in front of the camera, because it is just reality. You've gained weight, you're overweight, that's all. Does it bother you? Then you do something about it. But most times we want to take a certain part of people's culture without knowing the entire context. Now, when it comes to the current trend of talking about how skinny people are, especially celebrities, I find it very, very sad, because the majority of the people who have lost weight to such an unhealthy size where many are saying their bones are showing through their skin, they are women. I've not seen a video that has shown a male actor that has lost that much weight. So, but for the majority, most of the videos, if not all of the videos, showcase women who really don't look healthy. They look what we would call anorexic back in the day when you could talk about people's weight, you know. And this is my question. Are we not, or are you people, or are they not body shaming them? Is it not still body shaming? Because if they lost the weight, as we say in Nigeria, it's not your weight loss, it's not your body, it's not your bones that is showing under the skin. Let people live, and let be. You see, the human mind is very, very, very fickle. Today, one thing is a taboo, tomorrow, suddenly it's allowed because we have to talk about something or someone. So I began to watch this videos, and I saw a very excellent video yesterday bringing about the history of how weight loss, especially for women, has been an age-old transgenerational battle from our great grandmothers. We've always been brainwashed that we had to be a certain size to appear beautiful, and now that the celebrities who have literally been the billboard for skinny, for weight loss, so to say, are being attacked, I don't know where the problem is. It's funny, because for the past decades or so, we've always aspired to look like those celebrities, which is why it is not a personal thing. Sometimes it can be commercial, sometimes it can be political. The reasons why women are subjected to want to lose weight to look a certain way is very political and commercial than many people realize, because if they make us feel and believe that when you go beyond a certain body size you are not beautiful, they get to sell their product. They get to sell the weight loss tablets, the weight loss powders, the slimming powders. In fact, that was how cigarettes sold in the 60s. So it has always been a commercial thing. It has always been commercialized, our body, and we are still being used as object of trade, so to say. So let's come back to the social consequences of that action. If we say we are not going to call people or address people's size, physical size, whether they are losing weight or gaining weight, because there are people who do need to gain weight or who want to gain weight. Unfortunately, we don't really pay much attention to those people. They very much um, ignored in general. Like, we don't think that there's someone somewhere that wants to gain weight, but there are people who need to gain weight and who do want to gain weight because they just feel the way we also who want to lose weight feel, and everybody's entitled to that. And I feel the American society should make up their mind. It's either we are body shaming or we are talking about health issues. One of the videos was saying it is alarming because a lot of young people look up to these actresses as role models, and they are watching this on their screens, on their phones, and so it's disturbing them because, of course, in your daily life, it's not every day you see skinny persons on the streets, as opposed to on social media, in the movies. And it got to me thinking, then we are also partly to blame, and perhaps that's why we're talking about it. Because if you didn't subscribe to that influencer or that actress's page, if you didn't pay your ticket, if you didn't buy the ticket to go watch their movies, you are indirectly, or more than you realize, sponsoring their lifestyles. It is because of the tickets the American society buy, the videos, the subscription on Netflix, that these celebrities can afford to take whatever they take. Is it Ozempic, Monjaro, or whatever, to lose weight? And so we are, in a way, responsible for what we are seeing on our screens today because we have idolized these actresses. Because literally, for me, if you don't like what you see, Then look for something else. There are healthy contents, contents that are good for your mental health, excellent for your spiritual health, that are sound for your mind. So I don't see why you will say, yeah, but when we open this thing, we go to their channel. No, 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 no. You are not obliged, you are not obligated to, excuse me, you are not forced to watch them. You're not, you don't have to watch them, you know, which makes me remember the same American influencers and content creators on social media are the same people who would tell you, especially the fashionistas, would say, well, if you don't like what I'm wearing, why don't you look the other side? So I'm saying, if you don't like what the celebrities are wearing on the red carpet, don't watch the red carpet, don't watch the Emmy, don't watch the Met Gala. If you don't like what they look like, it's their body. It's their body. The same way you wear your clothes that are too short or too revealing, and you say, yeah, if you don't like what I'm wearing, turn the other side or look the other way. We have lost respect for common spaces, for shared spaces, you know. And now these people are just on your screens and you are complaining. Like, what is it? I feel I don't care what the problem is. I find this body shaming these actresses because they have worked hard to get to the weight that they are. Healthy or not is not the issue. The issue that I have is that we agreed, or they agreed in their society, they agreed on their in their culture abroad, in the US and wherever else these people are, that it is taboo speak about people's weight. Content creators, influencers supported that and came here on social media platforms to preach about that. That you don't tell people, you don't tell a woman you've gained weight. Why are they now the same people coming on TikTok to say this actress has gained weight, that actress has gained weight? What is your business? Is it your weight they lost? Is it your weight they lost? They didn't lose your weight. Is it your weight they are losing? Are you the one buying them the Ozempic? Or are you the one wearing it? They are on the red carpet for their shows. So what is your problem? In Nigeria, we say, what is biting you? What is biting you? What is the color of your problem? You know, honestly, that video keeps coming out with every event. It started with the Oscars, and now the Met Galas, and they are still on it. No, people are paper thin, people are this, people are that. Body shaming is body shaming. Whether you are body shaming plus size women like myself or you are body shaming skinny people like myself, the funny thing is that we are so prejudiced. You don't even know if these actresses are actually having health issues, if they've lost that weight because of some health issues. We just assume that since Oprah went on Ozempic, the whole lot are on Ozempic. No, some of them may be fighting very private battles, and that is why they look sick and skeletal as they look. You don't know that for sure. We don't know that. People just stand up, watch those things on Netflix, grab a camera, and come to the internet and start talking about that. It's not fair. It's not fair. You don't like how they look. Don't watch their movies. Don't follow their pages. Go to the street and look for normal human beings. Go to other people's content that you like how they look. If skinny is not good for you, if skinny is not attractive to you, leave the skinny actresses alone. They are doing their jobs. That body is putting food on their table. It's taking money to the bank for them. Let them be. Find your own cause, please. Let's stop doing this. I've seen so many good videos about it, and I've seen some, just gossip videos. People just come to TikTok to gossip about these ladies, and it's not right. That is my bone of contention. At the end of the day, I want to know, is this not body shaming? Really? Like, you people are body shaming. Americans need to do better. And I say American because a lot of the TikTokers who have been creating this content on YouTube and other platforms are from the US, because on the reverse side, we in Africa are trying to get thicker. We're trying to get the you know, voluptuous curves, voluptuous BBLs. It's BBLs that is really not. BBL is not skinny. People of my color, they are trying to go, fuller. So that is US problem. That is Obodo Yibo problem according to my people. I find it very, very hypocritical that people, a culture that once defended um, people from a certain topic or a certain a certain topic about not talking about race now think is game for all, is free game for all to attack these people. I mean, they've also got emotions. Imagine an actress coming online and seeing multiple versions of her videos of herself online and people talking about all these things, or her manager now telling her, oh, try and gain some weight because people are, it's her body, it's their body. Let's do better. Biko. Let's do better. If you have somebody that if you follow those people on social media that do those kind of contents, tell them it is still body shaming. Except of course at a point in time the law changed or the norm changed and I didn't yet, let me know. Okay? And let me know what you think about it. Is it body shaming or not? Because actually, when they say it's concern, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. If you're a parent, tell your children not to watch those people so that they don't influence them. It's as simple as that. Thank you for following, and I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Bye bye. Here's to a happy week, everyone.